Hey, how's it going? I just wanted to do a quick video on the two products. I'm trying to create a video, like most of you have done hundreds of hours of research, stuff online. I couldn't find anything that I needed before I bought these items, so I'm going to try to fill that gap. But what I'm reviewing is the Owl ladder and the Alluminess roof rack. This is a 144 2019 Sprinter, and the roof rack is the Alluminess touring style, the perforated, not the slat. So just really quickly, the reason why I went with a ladder like this, these are both top tier categories, but in pricing, but I feel like you get what you pay for. And I'm in a 144 with a family of 4, so I need all this roof space I can use. So that was another factor for me in getting this. But the side ladder, I live in Colorado, and it's known as Jeep country. A lot of old wagon trails, and which are great for Jeeps. And this is not bad, except for the height. But I did not want a side ladder on it, because that's just going to get wrapped up in trees and branches, and it would be a pain in the butt. So this was perfect for me. Another reason why I want this is because, as you'll hear a lot, that drunk kids climbing up on your van at night, kids in my neighborhood, I don't want climbing up there and getting hurt. You have to think about getting up this a little bit. When you look at it, you're like, how do you use this? And I couldn't find anything online of people actually using it. And I'm like, is it a real pain in the butt? Is it not? So I'll show you how it works here. It's easy, moral of the story. Two ways to get up it, but can be a little challenging if you're carrying stuff, but as long as you do a one-handed grab on it, it's not a big deal. So overall, it's a very sturdy tire carrier. I love it. And I'll kind of show you how it works. It's got these two foot pegs right here. You lock them in. You could take them out if you wanted to. That was another factor, is security. Because when we go on trips, I like to put a lot of stuff up on top because we're in a 144. I don't want people easily getting up there. I want them to think about it a little bit. So you do have to think about it. So, looking at it, you're like, well, how do I do this? And one way you can do it is by putting your foot on here, and then on here, then here, then up on the thing. So it's kind of a little, and then going down, you can do the same thing. So you can do that. Again, it's like, that's a little, you have to think about it. The other way of doing it is going over here and just climbing up like this. And then just boom. So those are the two ways I found I go up it, depending on what I'm doing, depending on what I'm carrying. But it's easy, it's sturdy, it's strong. Honestly, I think it was worth every penny I paid for it. And I highly recommend it. And I asked them about, with an expensive ladder like this, is it easy to steal? And from what they said, because of the bolts are behind here, behind the hinge, you have to open the door to take it off. Now I think there's still some ways you could do it with like an impact driver and stuff like that, but somebody coming around with a set of tools, you're not just gonna be able to take it off. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. It's gonna be a real pain in the butt. So I like that security factor of it. That's it for the ladder. Now I'll take you up on the roof to look at the Alluminess roof rack and why I went with it, as well as some accessories that I put on there. All right, so we're up on top of my van here, the 144 with the perforated rooftop. Now I had a challenge because I wanted the slats because I wanted to be able to lock stuff down. But I also wanted this to be a place I could hang out. So I ended up going with the perforated because I wanted more deck space, and I figured I could figure out something to strap things down. So one of the things I came up with is attachment on Amazon. I'll link it below. But what you can do is you can bolt these things down anywhere you want. And it comes up a little bit, but they're angled, so you shouldn't trip on them. See if I can do this one-handed. You kind of pop these in like that, right in the middle, boom. You got lockdowns, and you can put them anywhere you want. The challenging part is that you can only get your hands so far under here, and you got to hold these in, so they're a real pain in the butt. So it's one of those things, it's better to do before you put it on if you can. But if not, I was able to get them here, you get them close to the edges. So right here I have those traction pads. So I put a loop in here, loop in there, put them through the traction pads with the tie down, and they lock them in. And I also have like a rooftop box for storage, and I put, one here, strap it over, and then I'll put the strap through here and around the bar and up and over to the loop. So that's worked really well for me. I'm probably going to buy more from them as I have other attachments. For the solar, up here, this is the solar rails that come with, well, they don't come with it, you buy them, but they're Alluminess solar rails. And I didn't know what was gonna fit on here exactly. And I can get the measurements for this, for the max capacity if anybody's interested in that, as far as what it can hold, because you are limited. But this is the Renogy 160 watt 12 volt panel, and it fits perfectly. You have a little room over here, I actually thought I was gonna have to put it over on this side because there wasn't enough room up front, but there is enough room up front. So if I ever want to add one back here, I can. And you can see up front, I still have room to spare. Now, another thing that I couldn't find online is, I didn't know about the front of this roof rack. But as you can see here, it is flat. It's a flat bar, aluminum flat bar. So I thought it was round like the rail, so I got attachments for that, but realizing that I didn't need them at all, and you just drill a hole through, and any kind of standard pads will work. The standard mounting pads for your light bar. So you're just drilling a hole through and you're good to go. I didn't know that either, so that set me back a little bit, but not a big deal. Last thing I'll show you up here, I thought this was pretty cool. I live in a neighborhood and I'm trying to make it look nice as possible, so I don't have any problems with HOA or anything. So I just found this little part on Amazon. I can link this below as well. It's not super strong, but it's strong enough, and you can undo this latch. Again, trying to do this one-handed. Put it up when you want to on trips, and then lock it away so it's not sticking up all the time. That works well. I just cut off a little piece of 80/20 to mount it. I'm sure there's a million different ways to mount it, but that's what I did. That's about it for the top of the van. You don't have much room under this, so it's best to do as much as you can with wiring, especially your mounting point. I got all that stuff set ahead of time, because once this thing is on, there is little to no room to get your hand in here. I'll show you how far I can get my hand in. That's it. And I'm very limited in what I can do. So your options, if you don't do this beforehand, is to unbolt this whole side right here. Unbolt this whole side and lift it up. It's not super heavy, so you could do it, but again, a pain in the butt. So it's best to do it beforehand if you can. I'll end this with a walk around, and one last thing. I saw a lot of pictures of the ladder like this, and I saw some pictures like this, and it looked weird how this was curved in some of the pictures that I saw. I can tell you it looked like it kind of leaned out, and it may look funny in this picture as well, but I can tell you that it looks great on the van. It's an optical illusion. It doesn't look, once it's on the van, you don't see that. So if you see some funky looking pictures, it really forms well to the van. So again, another non-issue. I'll walk you around. I like the low profile of the Touring. I'm not sure what the standard one looks like, but it does really well. And having that front panel, that 160 watt panel on the front, it doesn't look bad. having it close to the front edge like that. That's a rough country curved light bar. That's it, folks. Have a good day.